Okay, just maybe I haven't put videos out in a long time, and it's not that I stopped recording. I just haven't posted them. I'm sorry. This is just a commentary to count your blessings. Oops, let me turn that off. Wouldn't that be nice? You guys can hear me. Let me turn that off. All right. Count your blessings. You know, most people would hear that I think I had about 9 code browns last night. You know, they'd be like, what the living F, right? I said, no, I actually had a really good night. No problems. Because they were relatively easy code browns, because the patients mostly could help. I had my tech there. And honestly, I only had 5 patients. I was floated to my pulmonary, the sister unit, for the whole weekend, thankfully, actually. They wanted to send me back on last night, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. Let me do the 3rd night in a row. Same patients, continuity of care. They switched it and they did it, you know, because, you know, I eat up the weekends. I'm a weekend eater, you know, so they got no problems. They capitulate, they kowtowed to me a little bit. So I was thankful. But more than anything, the 9 Colt Browns or whatever it was, 8, 9, or yeah, about 8. I think it was 9. I lost track, obviously. It was good. It was a good night for me because my friends, the other nurses on the unit, had shit nights. I mean, it was just horrific. For a myriad of reasons, and I ended up through the weekend, actually every night I had really good nights. I think part of it was that the patient population really was, I don't think they did it on purpose this time, but it was geared toward me. They were neuro patients that happened to have pulmonary issues for various reasons, and I'm a neuro nurse, and I was able to handle that. They nicknamed it the group that the assignment that I have is always that case. So maybe they did it on purpose. I don't know. Actually, I don't think so, because actually I was originally scheduled for another assignment, and somebody else actually then they swapped it because they had it the night before. So I ended up inheriting the 5th group, which was. So anyway, the patient population kind of was my forte, so I handled it well. But everybody else ran into really, really bad stuff. You know, basically post-mortem care was involved. Let's say that, and transfers to step down. Transfers to hospice. Really serious stuff that probably should not have been in our hands. Being a relatively, normal med surg. Those are ICU, step-down units, hospice units, and, sometimes we're handcuffed that we can't handle stuff like that. We shouldn't be handling stuff like that, in my opinion. But you do what you have to do, and you handle it. As nurses, you deal with what's in front of you. So I ended up the whole weekend actually helping out my friends, passing out meds for them or answering their call bells, a lot. And that was fine because I had a really good group and I was thankful. So I was paying karma. Maybe that's the title of this video, is karma, pay it forward. Because a couple of times, they were like, oh, you were busy with that. We answered it. Thank you. And that's what we do for our unit. And there was one nurse that made a commentary to me that, because I relieved her early. It was like 6:50. I was like, I'll take a report now. She's like, you will? And this is the first unit I've ever been on that took early report consistently. And again, I think that's because I've been kind of promoting that, because there's a lot of nurses that are like, hey Ray, do you have my group? they want me to be the one to give report. And I was like, sorry, I'm on the south side or I'm on the north side, whatever. They're like, yeah. Because, I actually relieved somebody like 45 minutes early because they were on overtime anyway. So, the management was happy to not pay them overtime. They actually ended up paying me overtime, but I'm at a lower rate than that. That nurse was much more established than me, so she was, she's paid a higher rate. But, I think word got around. They're like, how did you get out like almost an hour early? Because honestly, you'll get to a point where you don't give a crap about the hour pay. You rather get home early. You rather have that hour of sleep. And that was the issue. And she knew me, so she was actually one of my preceptors. She's like, oh, and she knew I'm always early and always ready. And she's like, are you ready? And I was like, yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. You want to go? She's like, yeah, I kind of want to leave early. I wanted to get some rest and whatever. I was like, yeah, it's done. She was my preceptor. I'm not going to refuse her. But, it wasn't pressured or anything. She was like, kind of like a favor. And, I was like, no, it was a pretty relatively simple, straightforward group. So she's like, bah! And ran off. And that got around the unit, I think. And they're like, holy crap, Ray will take it early. And other people are doing it. Because there's a lot of the younger cohorts, not younger people, but younger as in experience-wise, myself included, are of that mind. We arrive early and get the heck going and take our notes and are able to take handoff. We don't kind of lollygag, if you want to do it. They say it any other way. And then that's good. And because you end up going home half hour earlier, that is much more valuable than a half hour of pay. We could give a shit. Honestly, I could give a shit. I haven't met a nurse, when I posed that question, they're like, oh yeah, I'd rather have the hour of sleep. Yeah, we want to get paid, but, we work 11 hours then. I'd rather do 11 hours and sleep. It's very valuable. Your sanity is at stake here, So, again, that's part of karma and paying it forward. I really strongly suggest you do that. Some people might say, hey, you're a sap and whatever. And some people have said that to me. But you keep plugging at it, people do respond. And they're like, oh, yeah. Now it's not like, oh, Ray's a sap. Ray will take good report and take care of the patients. Because in the end, you take ownership of your patients. You don't want to give it to some idiot. You don't want to see the nurse make a mistake or what have you. You don't trust them. You have to learn to earn their trust and, to be trusted. And they seek you out then. Like I said, a lot of nurses are like, oh, wait, I want to give it to Ray. I know I can get out early. He'll take good care of my patients. So I've had people say that. They say, I'd rather you take care of them. They're a little touchy and they need an extra soft touch. I'm still weak technically. I totally admit that. It would take time. And it takes about 2 years. I'm getting closer and closer to that. Probably like 6 months away from that 2-year mark. So, like I said, I'm not 100% comfortable, but I'm beginning to feel my bones, feel my way around it. A lot of people do come to me for help, and I'm like, you're crazy. I don't know shit. Go ask Jen. Go ask James. Go ask Tom. Go ask Ashley. Or go ask whoever. But, I'll give you my opinion, but, I would feel much, more comfortable if you, confirmed it with somebody else. But you'll eventually get there. Don't worry. But, part of that is, like I said, payback. Payback in a good way. Not payback in a bad way. Okay? Good luck.